confidential, so we will record it. Doesn't mean I'm going to upload it because I want you guys to be here and focus and locked in. But let's just dive in. Let's just get it. So, guys, we are going to talk about today. If you caught my title of the call, I didn't post in the chat, but how to properly set and perceive your goals. This was actually a topic that I'm going to give credit where it's due, where we had a call the other week. I think it was like 3 weeks ago with Neno, and he was giving us some of this information, and he really taught me in our group, that focus group that I'm in with Katie and Elaine, a lot about how to properly not only set goals, but how to perceive the goal itself, how to look at it, how to see it. And that's what I'm always like at this level right now, in my journey. I'm looking to see how other great people that are in my field, that have mastered their craft, their skill, their mindset, how they perceive things, how they see things, their belief level behind it, and the purpose that they put behind the things that they do. Because ultimately, our beliefs are going to drive what we do in the first place. And so if I can understand how they see things, then maybe that can help to shift the way I think and I see things as well. And so that's what we're going to dive in today. We're going to talk about goal setting, and really quick, just to preface, just to recap the purpose of these calls, the purpose of this focus group. It's really to guide you. It's to equip you. It's to create, honestly, accountability, so that you on this call, you can develop into a confident and dependable leader. Okay. And I think I posted 2 questions in the chat earlier last week, like earlier this week, to ask yourself to kind of do a self audit, self reflection on, about, what are you willing to make some changes? Where are you willing to make some changes? Who are you willing to become? What are you willing to do differently? Those types of things. So if you haven't gone through those, just take some time after this call. These calls are really meant to be action oriented. I'm going to give you steps, and concepts and principles and perspective. But the only way that this is actually going to work is if we go out and apply and we're intentional about it. So at the end of these 6 weeks, you can kind of get an idea, just to kind of give you a vision of where we're going. The whole entire goal, the whole entire focus is to focus, is to get down to the nitty gritty, is to dig in, is to establish the right habits. At the end of the day, we could set all the goals that we want, but if we don't get ourselves right, if we don't have the right, workings and maybe discipline and focus and habits, working in our favor, in a system that our internal system is wired, we're not going to achieve anything that we really want to, and we're just going to find ourselves in the same vicious cycle. We want to break that cycle. We want to break those chains. And so the real focus is to build, is to establish, is to start, is to create those productive, profitable, fulfilling, meaningful habits. Okay. The tangible goals will come once you get yourself right. Okay. Again, you get out of this what you put into it. And I'm going to say this at the beginning, and I'm also going to say this at the end, because I heard this from somebody the other day when I was listening to an audio. It's John Melton's team. You guys hear me talk about John Melton a lot. But they talked about on there how you want to schedule out time for, the actions that we need to take every single day. We hear this before, show me your calendar. I'll show you your future. I'll show you where you're going. I'll show you what that looks like. So I want to ask you, when is the longest, start to think about this right now. When is the longest, most uninterrupted time in your day? I know it can sometimes change because of work schedules and life. I get it. I know, I literally these last 3 weeks have been crazy. So I get it. I understand. But on a typical day to day, and maybe you have to do it the night before, maybe you have to do it the week before, but you have to schedule it out. That's what, an independent business owner does. That's what people that are great leaders, that are investors, that's how they think, that's how they're wired. When is the longest, most uninterrupted time in your day? The reason I'm asking you that question is because I want you to start to think about it, but also give you context. That is when you can work on these actions. The longest, most uninterrupted time throughout your day, maybe it's only an hour. Maybe some days it's only literally 30 minutes because you just had those that kind of a day. And some days maybe you have 3 hours of literally uninterrupted time to do the things that you got to do, to knock it out the park, to slam it in, right? That's considered your game time window. It's game time. It's time to lock in. It's time to do the things that I got to do. okay, to build my business, to build myself, to build the longevity of my future, okay? And look at it like that, not just, oh, I'm going to do it tomorrow, so I'm tired, it's inconvenient with my, with my whatever. Okay, that most uninterrupted time of your day is your game time window, and things are going to happen where maybe that window of time gets moved around. Maybe it's not in the morning every day. Maybe you have to move it to the evening, because so and so such things happen. The point of it is, and I was talking to Caitlin about this the other day, is when you set that game time window, put a timer on, especially on days where you just know, like, this is going to be tough, but I'm going to make it happen anyways. I got to do the hard things. I got to do the things that are going to push me forward. Set a timer. I started to do that on the latter part that when my mom was here, because I'll just be honest, guys, we had so many days where we were just kind of doing stuff and it was random, it was spontaneous, and I was here for it. But at the same time, I knew that I had anxiety because I didn't plan my day around also incorporating the things I need to do within my business. And I'm giving you some context here, and we're going to get into the meat and potatoes of this call, but set a timer. And so the latter part of when my mom was here, I was setting a timer for just an hour. And it was for me at the beginning of the day, just to do the things that I needed to do. I wrote down 3 things. You need to do these things before you start your day. And that relieved so much of that anxiety, so much of that like internal pressure of like, man, you haven't done anything. And then you go to bed feeling, bad about yourself, and the cycle repeats. So I want to give you that. I'm going to talk about at the end as well, because I'm going to give you some context over this call. But I want you to start off by writing this next part down. Goals. What does a goal mean? Goals, all they are, guys, is to show you where you can go. Okay. It's to show you where you can go. It's to give you a track to run on. It's to give you a sense of vision of where you can go and who you can become in the process. And commitment to your goals make you deserving of that promise. So whatever the promise is, whatever the goal that you set out for yourself, whatever reward that maybe you've written down that you want to take care of once you achieve that goal, when you commit to your goals, when you do the work, when you do the heavy lifting, right? When you're in the trenches, when you do the uncomfortable things, when you go out on a limb, when you go the extra mile, when you maintain that excellent spirit, commitment to your goals make you deserving of whatever it is at the end of the tunnel, whatever it is at the end of your deadline, whatever it is at the end of that milestone. Because like it also builds your confidence too. Have you guys ever like achieved a goal, or something was just maybe given to you and it didn't really feel like it was yours, like you didn't feel like you deserved it? I've felt that way multiple times over, and it's oftentimes came back to the fact that I didn't really do anything to deserve that, or I half-assed myself to get there. And so just keep that in mind. Commitment when you're going through the hard things, it's there for a reason. It's so at the end of your pursuit, it's not like the end, but the end of your pursuit for that goal, you will know that you were meant to be there, and you're not going to question yourself, because sometimes you can hit a goal and you can question yourself being there because you've never been there before, because it's unfamiliar, and you can fall back to that temperature that of the thermostat, and your life will remove that goal. It's just a visit. It's not it's not where you're meant to be. And it's this psychological talk that we put ourselves in. So anyways, you guys get my point, right? Commit to what you said you were going to do. And just because some of you guys have goals, hopefully all of us have some sort of goal that we want to accomplish before the end of the year, a goal that we want to accomplish moving towards convention in Orlando. Just because your goal date is approaching, I've done this multiple times, and it always bites you in the butt. Just because your goal date is approaching doesn't mean you let up, doesn't mean you take your foot off the gas. All of us, I believe, in some way, shape, or form, are Christians. We believe that there is, God, and not just God, but Jesus Christ. And we understand the power and the purpose of faith, keeping the faith. Don't just let up at the, towards the end of when your goal is going to, expire because of your deadline. That's the time to ramp it up and just really see what God can do, really see what, who you can become just by keeping your foot on the gas, just by stretching yourself a little further. Even if you don't hit your goal, the goal doesn't really matter. It's who you're becoming in the process, and it's just setting you up for the next goal. So break down your goals and organize them. And that's what I'm going to give you right now over the next few minutes of this call. This is what we're going to talk about. I'm going to give you 5 types of goals They're simple. You can incorporate these into your day to day. I don't want you to think, oh my gosh, 5 types of goals, for business owners and leaders, that's overwhelming. You'll see how simplistic you can make this. Okay. And you can adjust and fit this into your lifestyle, not just I gotta just kind of find a way to put this in my schedule. This can become a part of you, because great leaders, successful business owners, investors, they think like this. They think this way. And this is coming straight from Neno. So I'm going to give you guys this info. We're going to rock it. We're going to run into this. So number one, if you want to write this down, personal. Okay. Number one goal is your personal goal. This is your self-development. This is your routine. This is your day to day. And the way that I see it is, this is how you're going to better yourself, your mindset, your emotional intelligence, even oftentimes your spiritual side. There's another side of that on here, but it could be a mix of those 3 things. And the thing about personal development is this cannot be something that you slip up on. Like every day, even when my mom was here, I'm just giving you some context because she was literally just here. She just left this morning to go back home. She just boarded her plane right now. Super fresh. And even when she was here, I was still dedicating a little bit of time to some sort of personal development, whether that was reading a page in a book or listening to 5-10 minutes of an audio, or watching a quick YouTube clip, whatever it was, getting on Go Live. Okay. Whatever maybe your topic is. I know MMX just came out and it's fire. I was listening to some of it this last week, but this must be a top priority for you, your personal development. You cannot slip up on your personal development. This has got to be like a staple. And I look at personal development as an equivalent to your physical health. So personal development can work on you personally, your mental side, your emotional side, and it can be equivalent to, let's say, your physical health. And for example, what you're choosing to eat, your diet, what you're consuming as far as food on a daily basis, because same thing on the mental side, the emotional side. What are you consuming for your mindset? What are you consuming and taking in, filling your cup with to build more value as a person in yourself? Okay, so this has got to be something that's top tier, that's like high standard, number one, like got to be on the list. And in order for you to grow, in order for your business to grow, in order for pretty much any other area of your life to grow, you must grow. This has got to be number one. Okay, this PD will basically help with everything that you go through, all the challenges, all the obstacles, all the setbacks, all the things that you're going to go through in your life. The personal development that you pour into yourself is going to help you not just cope and handle that stuff, but have and build a larger capacity for yourself and tolerance so that you can continue to move forward. It doesn't, that quote, it doesn't get easier, you just get better. And that's so true. You just get better about dealing with those things, about kind of having a larger capacity for those things. Okay, your vibration will rise as you continue to pour into yourself. You will grow in confidence. You will grow in your energetic level and your attitude and your perspective. Okay, and the other thing about this too with business is you can't attract anybody that's on a higher level than you. Okay, like period. That's the sentence. You can't attract anyone that's on a higher level than you are. So if you're on, let's say, you're everybody's a 5 on a scale 1 to 10, but you're your own version of that 5. Like I'm a 5 on my scale 1 to 10. You're a 5 on your scale 1 to 10. Okay. You can never attract anybody higher than you. So if you want to go to a 6 on your scale 1 to 10, you've got to develop yourself to, I'm just giving you a number so you can visually see something, but you've got to develop yourself. Okay. You can only attract other people, leaders that are on the same level or below. And if you attract below, it's not bad, but it's not ideal. You're going to get maybe lazy work ethic, lack of commitment, lack of vision. Like, so the list goes on. Like if you want more discipline, hungry people, hungry leaders around you, not just in your team and your business, but around you, your associations. Okay. Because you attract those people into your life. It starts with you. It starts with your personal development. And you must be intentional about your personal development. I'm very intentional with who I'm listening to, what I'm consuming, what I'm documenting, what I'm choosing to tap into on a daily basis. I have like 3 people that I'm focused on right now when it comes to just pouring into myself on the personal development side. And you've got to be intentional with those things as well. Okay. And then this last part here for personal development is, and this is so important, and this applies to all the goals, not just this is just something that he said that was really powerful. But you wouldn't wake up late for work. Some of us do, but I don't think anyone on this call does pretty regularly, right? You wouldn't wake up late for work. So why would we wake up late for our morning routine? So maybe we're knocking these things out in the morning, or maybe, we're going to do these things at whatever time. Just give you an example. But why? Because sometimes we can put it off and literally just wake up, and the first thing that we do is go right to work. Like, get ready. If some of you guys drive to work, like, that's the first thing. You literally roll out of bed, you put your clothes on. All right, we got to go. Some of you guys work from home. All right, put your clothes, like, and you're in your PJs and you just roll out of bed and you just start work. Like, we'll wake up on time for work, but we won't wake up on time to get ourselves right, to get our morning routine right. Okay. Sometimes we have, this is hard to say, but it's true. We have more respect for our job than we do for ourselves and our future and our longevity and who we're becoming. Okay. And we've got to set that standard for ourselves. We got to set the intention. So a goal example that you could set for yourself is, I'm going to do my morning routine. Maybe your morning routine consists of your personal development. In this case, I'm going to do 30 minutes, or I'm going to do 20 minutes. Okay. I'm going to do 10 minutes, or maybe it's in the car. And you're going to add this in there. I'm going to do, my morning routine 7 days in a row, where I'm going to pour into myself every single day of the week. That's one goal that you could set for yourself. Knock it out. And what I love about some of these goal examples, and I'm going to get into this, is your goal is more affected by what you can control than what you cannot control. Because sometimes we can set goals that are things that we cannot control. Okay, like the market going our way every single trade that we take. That's just not going to happen. Or if somebody gets started in our business, I can't control if and when somebody gets started. All I can control are the action steps and making myself a better person and leader to help that person make a decision. Okay. So we want to set goals around things, especially the day-to-day or the more shorter term, around things that we can actually control. The longer term goals will come when you accomplish the smaller goals. Okay. So that's number one, is personal development. It's a personal goal. Okay. Number 2 is a skill. And these are going to go a little bit more faster. The first one was just super important, but the next one is skill. He wrote down trading, which not everybody trades. Most people do, but not everybody trades. So I would focus on skill. What skill are you mastering? What product, in this case, strategy, are you focused on? Are you mastering? You should be able to know right now what you are focusing on, what you're mastering, what your strategy is. Okay. I know for me right now, my strategy for the last 2 years has literally been the scalper. I use the scalper and I use fibs. Anybody that's ever had a conversation with me and we've talked about trading, that is what I use. And I'll learn about other things, because as a leader, as a business owner, you want to be aware of the things that you can have access to in your business, but you don't have to know everything. You don't have to master all of it. That's the point of a system. But you do have to know one thing or a couple of things that you're focused on. And the part about this is the biggest thing is, can you teach and duplicate it? Whatever your product or strategy or skill that you're learning, that you're doing, you want to get to a point where you could eventually teach it, where you can, and create duplication. Because when I'm not saying go get on all these calls and start doing one-on-one so you can teach and duplicate your strategy, but you want to learn it and know it to a point where it's like, you don't got to think about it. It's so natural to talk about it or explain it or break it down, because that's your strategy. That's your skill. That's your product. You know it like the back of your hand. Okay. So I want you to ask yourself that question. Can you teach on your strategy? Can you teach it like some of the educators do, for example, and give yourself, he said, an hour a day to study your product. And I know some of us are doing this whole thing part-time, and I respect that. I appreciate that. I have gratitude for that. I have empathy for that. And maybe you don't have 5 hours a day for all five goals to do this with. Maybe you just don't. Maybe you only have 2 hours or you have 3 hours. I know like when working, I would have like a window of time in the morning and a window of time when I got off of work that I could do this. And that actually did match around 5 to 6 hours. Some of us are different. I get it. But you want to at least set aside some time to study your strategy. Jump on that go live session, mark up your chart, whatever it is that you're doing. Okay. So that's number two is skill. You've got to be able to master and be focused on a skill set. And everything that you do now that you're making the decision, that's how I see it with this focus group is you have made the conscious decision that you want to be the best leader that you can be. You want to be the best business owner, the best individual that you can be. And great leaders don't just think about themselves. They are everything that they do, they are thinking about how they can add value to somebody else. In everything, guys, I promise you, in everything that I do, it's just natural to this point, 6 years in, I don't do anything where I'm not thinking about how I can add value, how this can translate into a piece of content, how I can maybe incorporate this on the next call that I do, or the next overview that we do, or the next leadership, whatever, or when I'm called on to speak. I'm always thinking about how whatever I'm doing is going to be a reflection of Abby and my leadership. And I want you guys to start to think that way because that holds yourself to a higher standard because it's not just about you. It's not. Every one of you on this call, it's not just like, it's not just you by yourself. I see you. Your actions have a ripple effect. And if you keep putting yourself in the corner in the closet where, you think that you don't have value, don't have purpose, you're always going to create that environment mentally and physically for yourself. But I'm gonna tell you right now, you do, and you have to start to operate that way. Okay. So I went on a little bit of tangent, but that's number two. Okay. You got to master a skill. You got to know what you're focused on. Number three is your business. Okay. Your business. You've got to have a business goal set for yourself. And he did go into, maybe how many personals you want to bring on, let's say on a weekly basis or a monthly basis or even a quarterly basis. I got this. I really started to take this part seriously after I listened to him on the call when he was, and I sent this in the group chat with you guys about that urgency and exclusivity when you talk to people, like only taking on, maybe you're like, Abby, I have not brought on somebody in a long time into the business. That's okay. We're starting fresh today, right now. This is where it matters. The past does not matter. As cliche as it is, it doesn't matter. All that matters is where you're going, that vision, okay, that focus. But you can set a goal for yourself, maybe when you speak to people about, hey, I'm only working with X amount of people for the month. Maybe it's 4 people, maybe it's 5 people. Define that number for yourself. And obviously, if you have 6 people get started with you, that's not a bad thing. But you have that number. And when you have the opportunity to share it in a conversation with somebody, because you need to help them make a decision, and exclusivity and urgency and limiting, like when there's limitations on something, it usually separates the curious from the serious, those that are actually about this and those that are just kind of beating around the bush. And so I'm giving you that as an example. You want to set those kind of targets and goals for yourself. Even if you don't meet it, it doesn't matter. It's you having a goal. It's you having a deadline with your goal, because it allows you to really showcase what you should be doing on a day-to-day basis to achieve that goal. It literally just sets you up to win the day. It shows you what your output should be on a day-to-day basis to achieve that goal in the first place. Okay. And over time, you're gonna be able to do that because it's about who you're becoming and not about what you're getting, because what you get is a result of who you're becoming. Okay. So in your business, set a personal goal that you can follow all the time. Okay, that you can follow all the time and have a routine about it. And these are some of the activities that we've talked about. Let's say, for example, these are like the controllables, right? I can ATM. I can reach out to X amount of people every single day. I can do that. I can set a timer for 15, 20 minutes, because we all have 15, 20 minutes to prospect, to start new conversations. And it's not even about, maybe you have a number in your head. It's like, cool, in these next 20 minutes, I want to be able to open and start 10 new conversations. And maybe you only do 8. And as you guys, trust me, in 20 minutes, I could probably knock out 15 to 20 plus new conversations. like more quality people, not just anybody, but quality people, because I've just been doing it so often, and you just get good at it. Whatever you do often, whatever you do repetitiously, you get better at. So have those goals for yourself, and maybe you start smaller, because the small goals, if you take care of it, if you steward it well, it will grow into, bigger goals, bigger things that you can handle. But you have to start somewhere. And so set those goals for yourself. Maybe it's I'm going to try to, my goal is to prospect 10 people every day, and I'm going to set a timer for 20 minutes. And in those 20 minutes, when my timer goes off, doesn't matter where I end, that's what I did for today. And then the next day you get right back at it. And so it kind of just takes off, because sometimes if you're just like 10 people and you have 45 minutes and you don't really set a timer, then you're gonna take the whole enclosed time that you're given. But if you give yourself 20 minutes and you have that goal, you guys get my point, okay? Going around a tangent. So you have your prospecting, you have your follow-ups. I even will do like engagement, like engaging with other people. I'll watch their stories. I'll comment. Not every single person that's showing something, but I will make it a goal with, again, setting a small timer of maybe 5 minutes. I'll go on my social media and I'll just watch some stories. I'll just comment on people's posts. I'll like it because I want to engage. I want to engage with my friends on Facebook, my followers on Instagram. And you guys can do the exact same thing, okay? Follow-ups don't take very long. You could do that in 5, maybe 10 minutes, depending on how many follow-ups you have. But all of that together, that's 30 minutes, which, you could literally do that. If you have an hour for your business, I would do that. The other 30 minutes you could do making content for your social media, which I'm going to get into in just a second, okay? All right, so that's number 3 is your business. You've got to set aside time for the business side of things and setting goals up for yourself in that manner. And put a number in your head. This month of December, the next 30 days, I'm only taking on and working with 3 people. I'm only taking on and working with 2 people. Or these last 3 weeks of December, I'm only going to be working with 2 people to get them ready for the new year. And maybe you're thinking like, well, Abby, I don't have what it takes to get them ready. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. And plus you have leverage. Okay. You're not telling them everything. You're not, you don't need to get up here and do these calls. You just need to point, guide, and direct. That's what we do here. Point, guide, and direct. That's it. Okay. So number 4, write this down, is team goals. Team goals. Okay. This may not apply to everyone on this call right now. But I'm going to give you some context so that you can start to think like this way. So when it happens, you will be ready. But choosing, this could be for those of you that have a team right now, choosing 1 to 2 people to pour into. Maybe it's for that week. If you have a bigger team, maybe it's for that week. Maybe if you have, a smaller team, maybe it's, 10, 12, 15, whatever people. Maybe it's only 1 to 2 people for that month or whatever it is. Okay. Teaching them, and this is going back to you knowing how to use a strategy, teaching them how to use a product or how to use the strategy itself. Everyone should know how to at least use one of the strategies. The scalper is very simple. Impulse, very simple. SwipeCoin app, very simple. The list goes on. Okay. And being able to help them understand that. And the other thing about the team is maybe you're, on your way to creating that team for yourself. What I did before I even had a team, before I even had one person enroll, or I had people enroll and then they went inactive and I had nobody. Okay. I was very active and engaged in the group chats with my mentor at the time, because I wanted to be involved. I wanted to participate. I wanted to stretch myself and I wanted to also be visible. I wanted to be noticed, not in the sense of look at me, but hey, I can step up and add value and I can contribute. And one day I know I'm going to be called on to actually be able to do that. And also it's building the skills of a leader. If you notice, the people that are the most quiet, they're not the most, some of them are obviously just trading. That's fine. They're not like on the business side, but a lot of people that want to build, but aren't like really doing anything, they're not as developed or as equipped as those that maybe are more active. And I'm not saying you need to be in there every day, all day. No, I'm not even in there all day, every day. But I do pop in there a couple times throughout the day. And a few times throughout the week, I'm going to make a post in there. I'm going to say something and I'm going to give some context. I'm going to give some value. I'm going to give some perspective based around always back edifying the platform. So I hate just posting stuff and not giving context. I always love to post stuff if it's in the Facebook page or the Discord and give context, because I'm thinking about the newest person that's in there and is maybe overwhelmed. They're seeing all this stuff for the very first time, or, whatever, and they don't even know what's going on. And so if I can keep things simple, leaders keep things simple and make just share something in there of value and point people back to where they can go to create a similar result or learn or make progress in a certain area. That's my goal. That's where I want to add value. That's how I can contribute. Okay. And also just leading by example. And all that we do, we can lead by example. And so that's just a quick example of what you guys can do, of maybe based on where you're at, but become more visible. And when I say visible, add value. Get loud in a way. Don't be obnoxious, but just, get in there a few times a week. Share something that you're working on, that you're looking at, and back edify the platform. It doesn't need to be super long, just something simple. If you're going to post your profits, if you're going to post something, by the way, if you're posting profits on the Facebook page, just make sure you're marking them out, like cover them up. The Discord, I think it's fine, but give some context as to how you got those profits in the first place. I'm just giving you guys some examples. Okay. And then the last one, number 5, is social media. Okay. Social media. I'm doing the SMX Academy right now. I got access to it, and oh my God, it is so good. It is amazing. I love what they're doing in there. And it's just giving me so much. Like, I'll give you an example. So some of you guys know I messed up my hand. I don't know how, but I have a cyst in my hand and it's like super swollen and I literally can't move it. It's been so difficult to type and text. Like getting this call together, I was like scrambling because I'm literally using my left hand. I can't hold anything. It's super obnoxious. Oh my God, where am I going with this now? I'm literally giving you guys a story and it was going to be so good. And now I'm like forgetting. I forget. I'll have to go back to it. All right, I'll go back to it. It was going to be a really good story. I'm sorry, guys. Let me get into this part. So social media, you guys are like, wait, squirrel. Social media, okay? Online resumes. What they were saying in the Social Media Academy, they were talking about how your social media is an online resume, okay? And I want you to really like get serious about your social media. I'm looking at this more than just IM Academy or trading or investing or anything like that. This is my online resume. This is like my brand. This is the bread and butter of Abby, okay? And who I can become and who I can document and where I can add value, how I can contribute and lead by example. And I want you to start to think about yourself in that way. And that doesn't maybe mean tens of thousands of followers and all this engagement, but maybe it means stewarding what you have right now. What has God given you right now that maybe we're overlooking, that maybe we're not, we don't have gratitude for like we know we could. I've definitely been there. I'm like, I don't know what, like, I remember one time I was like, I don't even know what God has given me. Like, I don't know all the miracles God has done for me. I don't know if you guys have ever felt that way before or thought that way. It was very ignorant of me to think that until I encountered the power and presence and love that God has and offers and gives and really is. But I remember thinking like that before, and to realize that, man, like God has given me so much, and it may not look like a lot right now, but what he's given me at this moment, he's asking me and looking for me to obey and steward the little in my hand. It's not little, but to us it may be, to do great things. And maybe that is your whatever number of followers, or the team that you have, or the people around you. It could like go deeper and find gratitude and be grateful for the things you have, and then dig into that. That's what you need to steward. Okay. So back to the social media thing, is that's your online resume. Like, no physical copy no more. Like, this is where it's at. How, and you could set a goal around how many posts you're making a week. Okay. How many hours a week are you gonna dedicate to? I love what Neno said here. He called it flow, FLOW. It's like an acronym. And he said, how many hours a week are you going to dedicate to following other people? Okay. Number two is the L is showing love, maybe liking or engaging with other people. O is opening conversations. That goes back to kind of what we were talking about earlier. So these are kind of hand in hand, the social media and then the business side. And then W is winning people into your life, making friends, building those connections out, building out, your associations and your network. Okay. So I'll repeat it again. So F is following new people. Okay. Just engaging, showing love. Okay. Engaging with their posts, commenting, liking, whatever. O is opening conversations, and W is winning people into your life. So it's just kind of a cool acronym, he said, but it gives you some sort of flow. It gives you some sort of track to run on with what you can be doing on your social media. So I kind of incorporate the social media and the business side together when it comes to, let's say I'm going to set my timer for an hour, and the first 20 minutes I'm going to prospect. The next 5-10 minutes I'm going to follow up, and then the last 30 minutes or 5 minutes I'm going to follow up, 5 minutes I'm going to engage, because it doesn't take very long to do those things. And then the last 20-30 minutes, whatever time you have left, I'm going to work on my posts. I'm going to work on adding my stories. I'm going to work on my my newsfeed posts that I'm going to be putting onto my page. Okay. And then you want to set those goals for yourself, what those would be. Okay. And this is like a bonus. I said it earlier. This can maybe kind of tie into your personal development, but he mentioned, what is your spiritual focus? What is your spiritual goal? Growing your faith and, your relationship with God. I know my most anxious days, my most quote unquote depressed days, days where I just felt lost and upset with myself and frustrated, I wasn't putting God first. He wasn't the first priority of my day. It wasn't the first thing that I went to. It wasn't the first thing that I engaged with. And if you guys can relate to me to me on this call right now, you know how important that relationship is. You know how important it is to dig into the Word, and have your moments of prayer and just talking. Like when I think of prayer, I'm just thinking of my ability to communicate with God and what's going on, and just get real, like literally just getting real the other day. And I'll give this to you guys just as some context, because this past week I was really like going through it with my hand, because I just have not been able to use it, and I thought it was like something much bigger than what it actually is, which I'm grateful for. But I was telling him, I was like, man, I just I don't feel like I've been a good daughter. And when I said it out loud, I just melted. I just started to cry. And just those moments, and I know I'm kind of being a little bit more transparent with you guys right now, but just those moments of being in solitude with God, it transforms you. It really does. And it allows you to go out into the world and do the things that, are going to move you forward, that are going to get you closer, that are going to allow you to handle and deal with the traumas and the challenges of life. So I want to encourage you to, whatever that looks like for you, to maybe start your day that way before you dive into your social media and check your messages and check your notifications and, do your business and your trading. Get that part right first. It's definitely made a huge difference for me. Okay. So with that being said, guys, just to kind of wrap up the call, these are really just a breakdown of goals that will help you accomplish your bigger goals. Okay. And I want you to take note of this. All of your big goals are just your small goals being hit. All of your big goals that you have, 6 figures in your trading account, going chairman, going platinum 1000. Okay. Maybe that's your big goal right now, whatever it is. And I want to just kind of say this real quick. This isn't about going chairman. This group is not about going chairman. This is about developing you as a leader. This is about you digging deep. This is about creating accountability. This is about stretching yourself, taking the next 6 weeks and just laying it all out there, stretching yourself to the point where you can't really, like, you can notice a difference from who you were 6 weeks ago to where you are at now 6 weeks from now. Just putting it all on the line. Okay. That's what this is about. It's about understanding the power of building yourself just having a sense of focus. And honestly, like residual income as a whole, like we don't need to go, not everybody will go chairman. Like I'm not saying all of you guys on this call, I'm just saying everybody in the company is not going to go chairman, but everybody can create residual income. Everybody can go platinum 600, platinum 1000, platinum 2. And now extra residual income is so nice that you can put towards things in your life to move yourself forward for your investments, for your future, for whatever it is that you want to stack that towards. Okay. But all of your big goals are just your small goals being hit. So I want you to think about any big goal that you have in or out of the business. The way that you're going to achieve those big goals is by hitting all of your small goals every day, day after day, no matter what season you're in, no matter what experiences you're going through. It's you getting your small goals done. It's you winning the day. And hopefully these 5 types of goals that I just went through, maybe you can consolidate them and start to figure out what goal you want to set for each one, what that looks like for you on a day-to-day basis, to give yourself a schedule, to give yourself some sort of map and roadmap to follow. So you're not falling asleep every night, just in chaos, frustrated with yourself, and not really moving the needle forward like you want to, not being the leader that you were called to be. Okay. Stack each goal as you go throughout each day that you're experiencing, and understand that you can stay committed, because commitment can be fleeting sometimes when you're relying on motivation, but you can stay committed because you know where these micro goals are going to take you. You know where these micro goals are going to lead you. So maybe start with the big goal for yourself, whatever that is. It's your goal, and it's not to be compared with anybody else's big goal. Okay. That's your goal. And then map out your micro goals based on these 5 goals I just went through. Okay. Or, scenario, whatever. Okay. And if you set a goal, like I said in the beginning, and you don't hit it, don't stop. Keep going. Like maybe you got to do a reset. Maybe it's like, cool, I'm going to get back at it again tomorrow. Maybe you did your 20 minutes and you set a goal for 10 people that you're going to start a conversation with, and you only hit 7, or you only hit 5. And you're like, damn, I got some work to do. Don't look at it as, oh, I'm not good enough. I can't do this. No, you're questioning yourself again. You can do this. It's just, you just got to get better. I love to think about it like this. I can do anything I set my mind to, pretty much, God willing, right? But as long as I just do it over and over and over again, and I get familiar, I familiarize myself with it, I can achieve that. I can do that. I can become that. Okay. So what are the small goals you got to hit in order to get to where you want to go? What are those big goals that you want to achieve for yourself? And write those things down after this call. Okay. I want you guys to be able to take these calls that I'm giving you and not just take the information and be like, rah, rah, I'm excited. Yes. Hell yeah. That was important. Like I needed that. But take it and apply it. Like literally, I don't know what you guys do right after these calls. If you go back to bed, or you have your whole day planned, or maybe you have to work today, I don't know, but take some time. Maybe it's 10 minutes, 20 minutes, sometime today, find that window of time that you have, and get clear on these things, especially now going into the new year, so you can start the new year off on the right foot. But just to recap, guys, just to give you some of those, I said it in the chat the other day, but weekly goals that you could focus on around the business, 1 to 2 Facebook posts. I saw some of you guys, shout out to, I think I saw Crystal in there a few times. Eric was posting. I saw Caitlin posting in the Facebook page. Make those posts, get visible, become undeniable in who you are, your value and your contribution, and just you as a leader. Like when people think of you, I want you to just ingrain this in yourself. When people think of you, your name, do they associate leader, great leader next to that, with that name? Okay. Immediately when I think of Alex Morton or Matt Rosa, or even Mike Sotero, I think of great leader. I think of, servant. I think of those things. Think of yourself like that, but you have to start acting in that way. Okay. So 1 to 2 Facebook posts a week. It's not asking a lot. You don't need to do it all the time. I was doing it every day just to try to create some momentum. And now people are posting more frequently, which is amazing. You don't need to post all the time, but 1 to 2 posts a week, and take that same Facebook post, maybe condense it, simplify it, and post it in the Discord a couple times a week. It's literally the same thing, just post in the Discord. Okay. To give value and give context. And then for, ATMing with your prospects, shoot for a goal of, I don't know, whatever your, what you've been doing. But I'm going to just kind of give you a baseline. Shoot for 5 people this week. Shoot for 5 people that you're going to add into the Facebook page. Okay. As a goal. So, guys, I appreciate you. Hopefully this call brought some value, brought some perspective, kicked you off in the right gear. Maybe, set the vision for the next 6 weeks. I want to be more active in the Discord. I realized I can't send voice notes, so that was a little discouraging, but that's okay. We'll figure it out. So I sent that video. I want to be more active too. It's literally been very discouraging to text, just being completely transparent. I've not wanted to literally do anything that involves me texting, because I can't hold things. I can't even put my hair up. Alex has been washing my hair and putting my hair up, which I'm very grateful for. So I'm hoping that this is going to go away very soon. I'm praying so we can get back into action in full gear. But I'm going to be very active in there with you guys to give you some examples of my conversations, and use that chat as a campfire, as a way to hold yourself accountable with maybe the things that you're working on, and give context. Don't just post stuff in there, give context. Okay. So we all can see where you're at and how we can help. But marking your calendars this Monday, this is the last thing I'll say, this Monday, Caitlin and I are actually running the Monday overview. So get ready, mark that on your calendar. She's going to be doing the open. I'm going to be running the presentation. So if you guys are free, you want to jump in, this is your opportunity also to, be called on. I want to be able to call on all of you guys when Mike says, or Elaine or Katie asks me, hey, Abby, can you open? Can you do the call? And I can, then therefore ask you guys, hey, are you free to open? But you got to prepare yourselves. Every Friday, we're doing those overview skill night calls. I know it's Friday. I know it's, the weekend. But if you guys are free and you have the opportunity to jump on for 20, 30 minutes and just, get your source of reps in, get in that environment, we're going to help you guys do that. So I just want to say, I love you guys. I appreciate you. I hope this call was valuable, and I will talk with y'all later. Peace.